Welcome back to Echo Base Network, guys. I'm your host, Nicholas Glenn, and today we're talking about Andor and why the heck aren't people watching it? Over here slashfilm.com, I'm not going to read this whole article. I'm just going to hit the very first part. So if you guys want to read the whole thing, you can go over there and read the whole article. I'm just going to kind of give you guys my thoughts on it. But apparently, not a whole lot of people are really watching this show. So this is the part of the article I'm going to read. Last month, Andor launched on Disney Plus with a hearty 3-episode premiere. Despite being yet another Star Wars streaming series and a spinoff of Rogue One, a Star Wars story, Andor set its goals high, positioning itself as the greatest departure from the franchise yet. Week by week, the show has been surely fulfilling those promises, painting mature and morally complex shade of the Star Wars galaxy. I think that's debatable, but I digress. Andor addresses almost every critique of modern Star Wars content. The stakes are more personal. There's a clear 3-episode arc structure to the larger season, and the narrative is largely free of the typical galactic cliches and cameos. Critics and diehard fans alike have been praising the show for its immersive level of detail and restraint. So, why is Andor currently pulling the lowest engagement for a Star Wars live action series yet? And the article goes into what they think is the reasoning behind it. I'm going to just give you guys my opinion. And ultimately, I think it comes down to not a whole lot of people care about these characters. If you were to do, a Luke series, after we saw him return in Mando season 2 at the very end, it probably wouldn't be doing this. It would probably be well more received, or something after Return of the Jedi with a deep faked Han and Leia, like some OG characters, or something in between during the prequel era, or something like that, with Ahsoka or something. People are going to tune in for that. Andor, we already know he dies. Most of all the characters in the show are also probably going to die, minus the ones that we know about, like Mon Mothma and whatnot. And my criticisms of it is it's not a very fun show to watch. It does have that more serious tone to it, and a lot of people are liking it. Like, this show's not getting a lot of hate. I have my criticisms. I'm not really digging it. It's not really my thing. But a lot of people are loving it, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just not for me. It's almost like they took the fun out of Star Wars, when they made this show. The sound effects are off. The music is off to me. Like, the show's not grabbing me and making me care about these characters. I couldn't even hardly tell you hardly anybody's name in this entire show other than Andor, Mon Mothma. I'm drawing a blank on everybody else. I just don't care. And I think a lot of people, when they heard about this, are like, Andor, like, oh, the guy from Rogue One, or it's a lot, like, and a lot of people just aren't really caring about this show. Which I think the writing team is a great writing team. And for this type of show, it seems to be hitting pretty good marks with people that are into these kind of shows. But for me, it's not Star Wars. It of course takes place in the Star Wars universe, but it just doesn't feel like Star Wars. That fun aspect and that fantasy aspect has just been taken out of it. And so it's a struggle for me to get through each episode. Now, episode 6, I thought was the best episode of the series so far. My favorite scene was when the TIE fighter pilots were running to their stations and boarding the TIE fighters. That was freaking awesome. I really liked that scene. It was really cool. I thought they looked kind of bobbleheadish, when they got in, like their heads were going to tip over and fall off their bodies somewhat. But other than that little nitpick, I thought the scene was really cool. But at the end of the day, again, I just really don't care about these characters. Now, if I was to be in the writing room in the decision making of this show, I literally would have called it Rise of the Rebellion or just Rebellion, and had the story more focused on the rise of the rebels in the alliance against the Empire, and just had Andor be a part of it, not have the show be called Andor and it having to focus primarily on it, because then now you've kind of boxed yourself into Andor and focusing on this character right here, when the story that's more interesting to me than Andor, because I don't care about Andor, is the rise of the rebellion against the Empire. You know, the concept of this, I thought was really cool, and the writing teams involved, I thought they brought in great writers and stuff for this. Another thing is, I'm glad they're not doing the little goofy, jokey Marvel comedic stuff in here, like in Book of Boba Fett and some in Mando, and even in the sequel trilogy. It's a very serious show, so I can respect that. I again, let me reiterate, I don't hate Andor, but I'm not really liking it either. It's just kind of like, eh, it's a throwaway for me. It's got very, I don't see myself watching this show after the series has ended. But again, this isn't legacy characters here, so there's not really a whole lot they can really destroy of Star Wars with this. You know, if they screw up these characters or screw up the story or whatever, you're not going to really get a whole lot of backlash, you know, for Andor or these characters that are in the show. It's just not going to happen. And that's why you're not really hearing a whole lot about it. I'm not hearing a whole lot of buzz, like people extremely happy with it. And I'm not really hearing a whole lot of hatred for it either. It's just very in the middle. And I think a lot of people have checked out of Star Wars. I mean, hell, I've looked at our views on our channel. You know, since Mando, a couple months after Mando season 2 ended, it's our channel views have been on a slow decline because there really hasn't been a whole lot of excitement in Star Wars, you know, for a lot of people. And again, there's a lot of people that are really loving the show, and I'm happy for those people. I'm glad people are really digging and loving this and are excited to see each new episode every single week. Also, I want to add, I think this show might be better digested if you waited till the whole thing was out and binged it from start to finish. Because, God, just thinking about those first, you know, 5 episodes, oh man, like it is a chore to get through those for me. But anyways, guys, let me know y'all's thoughts in the comment section below. Why do you guys not think that Andor's getting the hype? Why is not a lot of people watching this? Why are views down on this show? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below. As Coach always says, we are, you are Echo Base Network. Until the next one, we'll see y'all later.